speaker is from Xuberance. She's the CEO of Xuberance, Leirah Wang. She's going to talk about PGM's 3D smart manufacturing and digital innovation. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm really honored to have this chance to share with you our design on this occasion. So in my presentation, actually, I do believe that we are one of a kind out of all the presentations because we provide you with the perspective of designers, and we also represent the user of 3D printing for the future. So firstly, I will give you the topics I'm going to cover. For the first part, I'm going to talk about the history and development of PGM 3D printing, followed by introduction of the application of PGM, AM, followed by more use cases so that you have more intuitive understanding how PGM can be applied in 3D printing and how design will look like. Well, as I was preparing for my presentation, I realized that PGM is something of beauty instead of simply a technical concept. So firstly, I'm going to share with you an interesting story from history and anecdote, which may bode for an even more interesting future. Well, PGM is part of fashion. It existed in the fashion industry in very early stage, as early as 1780. It was introduced to China, and in the PRC era of China, it represents some sort of the result of cultural exchanges between China and Western countries. Usually in China, those women from high class, they would use platinum as part of the jewelry and accessory. And platinum was also used industrially at a very early stage. In 1934, platinum nets were used in the process of catalyst. It was worth $40,000 back then. Well, PGM's application also has something very interesting, some interesting stories because of the extraction method of platinum and because of China's appreciation for gold. In the later stages of new artistic movement and design movement, platinum was used together with some other diamond and were introduced in China. In the late stage of the PRC era, the platinum jewelry that gradually came into being actually echoed the changes in people's appreciation beauty. So until now, we still extract or make use of the fashion elements of platinum instead of simply applying it to industrial use cases. So I believe that in the future, PGM will represent part of the fashion.
With the advancement of technology and the widespread of 3D printing, the PGMs is also having more opportunities to be better combined with 3D printing. We can see that as early as 2014, we've already got a lot of research team to study this. In 2014, that is when our first time of using PGMs and 3D printing. Actually, we've been keeping an eye on 3D printing in the application of PGM since the right start. Then in 2016, I still remember it very clearly that there is a big news that is that the 3D printed PGM has been a great success, and designers have been involved to make the design. Today, I'd like to briefly introduce this printing process. This is not about the 3D printing of PGM. It is this video is about SLS process. From first, we use digital construction to make this product. Then we upload it into the printing system and use a software to cut it into layers. And we used SLS, SDM, and very advanced printing technology. Here is the layering process. This is the process of printing each layer, and it's highly associated with all the specific data related to different layers. And here we have this laser selective incineration and then cooling. So this is a finish. We cool it after the printing, take it out. Could you please turn the volume down a little bit? This is to change the powder. After the cooling, the printing, we will take it out as a physical product. During the process, it looks like archaeological discovery. We unearth this product from all these powders. These are the two lamps we designed, and the material is nylon pH 11. We've tried very interesting structures. For example, this one like interlocked buttons. So the whole lamp cover can become a never-ending interlocked button pattern. And we've used this kind of structure to design an 8-meter-long wedding gown. This is the end product of the printing. Before the finish of the products, we will first of all input differentiated data to make sure that our products, each one of it is unique. Then we can produce it in one step. So this cannot be achieved by traditional technology because the traditional production process relies on the molds. But for 3D printing, we can manage mass production of highly customized and differentiated products. This is about metal printing. We use selective laser melting to melt the metal powder and then print it out with laser. The design is inspired by a painting 500 years ago by Dürer. We have processed his sketches with 3D technology and then embed the structures. This is a very key step in 3D printing. And also we can use 3D printing technology to reduce the weight. So it is a lot lighter, because it is hollow inside. It is only 1/3 of the weight of those concrete structures. You can see that the two sets of data are completely different, but they can be processed within one device at the same time. And for the surface, you can see that it's a rhino. For the right parts, we will do polishing, but for the left parts, we will maintain the rough structure to keep the design alive. So now, actually, mostly we rely on binder jetting, this kind of technology. For precious metals, we think that binder jetting is a better option as it can save a lot of materials. So just to briefly introduce ourselves, this is just a ad hoc slide. So why are we doing this? Because we want to print out our culture. We want to print out our passion. We hope that we can bring different beauties to the world. This is what we like to achieve by 3D printing. It's quite a poetic mission. So this is one of our colleagues said. I'd like to quote it that we constantly wandering between the virtual, the real, and between rationality and sensibility. And our dream is associated with the material world, so we are constantly changing between these two worlds. We are a design since 2008. We've been working on 3D printing. We've used different materials to achieve our goals. We've done furniture, architecture, digitalization, and fabrication. For 3D printing, we have an additive manufacturing center just in the suburb of Shanghai. This is one of our portfolios. You can see that we can use 3D printing onto a lot of things, such as furniture and jewelry. And jewelry is one big part of it, for sure. In the fashion industry, we've done a lot of fashion design and deco design for weddings and food design for wedding. These are what we have achieved with our team. These are the bouquet and handbags, 3D fashion show, and award cups. So this is a project done with Shanghai Concert Hall. We use 3D scanning to represent the IP of this architecture. This is the process of data scanning, and here is the side product we've got from this partnership. Is a 3D printed jewelry series. It's basically platinum plus ceramics. These are more related to some fashion brands, for example, some cocktail rings and necklaces. It's part of our everyday life. It's aesthetics generated by everyday life. This is high temperature ceramics. It's precious metals, jewelry, and this is a scanning of architecture and then extract some of its design elements to make certain design. This is a project work with Chao Hongji, a star, and also we can use 3D printing to decorate trendy venues. This is a time-traveling machine, and this is a very huge 3D printed project. Probably in the future, we can also have a two-in-one project that is from product to space. There is a shopping mall in Nanjing. It's a bathroom. You can see that is how beautiful it is. And this is a pop mart, the new pop mart. They use a lot of 3D printing in the decoration of the space. For this part, it's for furniture and furniture inside the space. A lot of them has turned to 3D printing technology. As a company that and also a technology to enable and empower future aesthetics and venues, I think 3D printing can provide highly customized products to really impress our eyes. For these furnitures, they will use environmentally friendly materials and 3D printing. The last part is our vision for the future. We hope that in the future we can use platinum-based 3D printing to reshape the future. We hope that we can use these platinum and 3D printing to do something different, highly customized, to reshape our future. Thank you.